Hey everybody, welcome in. My name is Cheyenne Hall, and I had a topic of cybersecurity. Right now, cybersecurity is one of the biggest threats to business. It's been evolving over the time due to all the technology that's come to play, and so right now it's a hot topic. It's an issue that needs to be talked about, needs to be learned about, people need to be aware of. So today I want to talk about some of the major statistics on cybersecurity, what cybersecurity is, what it affects, what we've already done with cybersecurity, and what to do going forward. So some of the major statistics that I've found are the breaches have doubled from 2012 to 2017. So we've seen the growth, which is a concern. In 2016, 95% of the breaches were targeted toward government, retail, and technology. I'm in the governmental section. I'm in the government industry. So that's a red flag for me, and that's concerning that they're targeting us with our sensitive information. So we just need to make sure we're on top of it and have everything taken care of. Every 35 seconds a breach occurs, and breaches usually target 43% of the time target small businesses, 95% of the time are due to human error, and 77% of the time an incident response team or plan is not put into place. So a breach happens and nobody knows how to handle it, what's the best way effectively and efficiently to take care of it to make sure the information comes back. So that's a big deal. Usually when a breach occurs, it takes about 6 months to really catch the breach. And so that information has been out there for 6 months, which is worrisome. And it's a lot of information. It's a lot of money to get that information back. In 2018, $1 trillion was the cost of cybersecurity globally. Also, in 2020, $150 million is the cost of an average breach. That's what's projected. And also in 2020, it said that we're going to have 200 billion connected devices. So that's computers, that's TVs, that's Roombas, that's all of those things are going to be connected and could be up to breach where cybersecurity is needed. And if we look further in the future into 2021, 6 trillion is the number for cybersecurity needed globally. And then in 2021, 3.5 million cybersecurity jobs will be unfilled. So this is something where if this is an interest to somebody, cybersecurity needs positions, needs jobs, needs people to help protect their information. And this is where I could see accountants coming into play and helping with these types of things. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity protects systems, networks, and programs that try to find, change, and destroy your data. It also tries to extort money, and it tries to disrupt your business processes. So someone's trying to get under your skin. Someone's trying to get your information any way they can. And so the layers of cybersecurity really deal with people, processes, and technology. You need a solid framework. You need all of these things working together and on the same page to make sure that the cybersecurity that is in place works, it's efficient, and it does its job. So cybersecurity, some things that could break the security or why breaches occur are due to phishing. So these are emails that you receive that are, pun intended, a little fishy, and so you want to make sure that the links that are sent in those are okay. You want to make sure that it's from the right person. You want to validate all these things and be able to know who the correct person is to contact to make sure that you're okay to click this link, you're okay to open this email. And so that comes with education, that comes with training, that comes with understanding what you should and should not press. Also, there's technology and software that email might not even get to you, and so that's something that the business can do on their end to make sure that you're not put in a situation where that could happen. The next thing is ransomware, and that's where somebody tries to get you to pay them for your information. So something gets into your computer and they say, we need this certain amount of money to get your information back. So the FBI is actually telling CPAs, which this makes sense, not to pay those ransoms and just to put preventive controls in to make sure this doesn't occur. Valid, that makes sense. Malware, that's software that goes under your computer that is trying to take things, is trying to mess everything up, just like all the other ones. It's not good for you, and it needs to be prevented, and that's what cybersecurity can do. So these breaches within companies are due to lack of resources, monitoring, and understanding what's going on. These internal breaches can either be intentional or unintentional. The intentional ones by employees can be classified into either technical or behavioral. So technical ones are if you've been tracking an employee, you know what they do and do not do on their computer, and so you flag the items that don't seem quite right, that seem different than their norm. Behavioral is when you're tracking them and they show behaviors that they don't understand the training, or they're going to do something that's going to jeopardize your business and the company that you're in, and so you want to make sure to prevent that before it happens. So some of the big effects of cybersecurity have occurred on hospitals, they've occurred on power plants, they've occurred on financial institutions. These are some of the biggest things that we deal with, that we're involved with. So financial institutions have all of our information, all of our money and so forth. Hospitals have our medical records, they have our social security numbers, they have our insurance. So these are the biggest things that we're dealing with, and that's where some of the threats are really occurring. So we have to be aware, and we have to make sure that the right security is put in place for those things. Also, if we don't take cybersecurity seriously, then our customers and our clients aren't going to take us seriously. It's going to tarnish our reputation as a company. And so this is something that needs to be a high priority. And then finally, what have we done already for cybersecurity? So there's been some technology that has helped with cybersecurity. And also, the state of Colorado has put some laws into place to make sure that everybody has the correct amount of cybersecurity. What they're doing currently with Colorado State University is pumping $1.2 million every year for the next 5 years into our university and into CSU Pueblo to make sure that we have the correct training for cybersecurity. We're training our students, we're training our staff. Right now it's getting pumped into the College of Natural Sciences, Computer Sciences program, College of Business, Computer Information Systems, and then in the Academic Computing and Network Services also, they have an intern that they're training and helping with cybersecurity issues. So the state is doing a good job in taking their part to make sure that we're covered. We have everything that we need to do, and that cybersecurity is something that needs to be put into place. So going forward, I think some of the improvements to cybersecurity could be incident response teams. Those need to be put in place for every single company. If a breach occurs, if something occurs, they have a plan put in place to make sure that we're prepared for this. We can shut it down as soon as we know about it, and it won't cost us a fortune, and it's taken care of, and we're protecting our clients and our customers. The next thing that goes along with that incident response plan that should be part of it is the preventive, the detective, and the corrective controls put in place to make sure that this doesn't happen, or if it does happen, there's a plan. Some of these controls can be your password, so your authenticity and your authorization. Part of this password, just to go further into detail about that. So blacklisting is something where you can't put your password up to something that's very common, or throttling is where you get locked out if you go in a certain amount of times. So those are just a few examples of the added security that people can put in place to make sure that we're following all those rules and regulations and that a breach will not occur. Also, retention issues. So if you have something for, let's say, 7 years, and after those 7 years, we don't need to retain it anymore. We don't need the information anymore. Let's just go ahead and delete it. Then we don't have any issue of somebody trying to get into it, somebody taking that information from us. Also, in your organization, you can do simulations that make sure that employees are trained correctly, and make sure when they see something that does not look right, that they can go ahead and not click on it, or understand, or reach out to the correct individual. Also, as we talked about earlier, the cybersecurity positions, you can bring in a chief information security officer or a cybersecurity professional to help with just learning and growing and understanding what you need, because it is such a new thing. Two final things is there's cyber insurance that's now coming into place. You can buy that to make sure that you're safe in case something does happen. And then board level tech committees. So they make this committee to make sure that they're pulling from every aspect of the business, and they also show outside people that they're very concerned about cybersecurity, and they want to make sure that their company is safe and breaches don't occur. So we've gone through everything with cybersecurity. We've gone through the statistics and what we need to go going forward, and we all know that it's a hot topic and it's going to be important, and that our information is sensitive and important. So hopefully going forward, some people can take it seriously. There's some laws and regulations can be put in place to make sure that everyone has the same rules, and everyone makes sure that we're good to go. We have no concerns about breaches. So thanks everybody for listening.